My honest thoughts and review on this topic, I will say I have joined Hustlers University previously. This was like 2-3 years ago. And I will be honest, and today we are reacting to the deserved end of Andrew Tate video by internet anarchist. Now, if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, I mean, do you even use the internet? Like, he's one of the most influential people of probably our decade right now. So if you don't know who he is, I don't know where you've been at. But let's see what is causing the end of Andrew Tate.
Getting more and more desperate, Andrew Tate is currently living on borrowed time. The once self-proclaimed top G is looking more and more desperate with each passing day, scrambling to hold on to whatever influence he has left. From pump and dump crypto schemes to literal pyramid schemes. Over the past few years, he's used every scummy tactic he could think of to maintain his image of a successful man. Unfortunately for Andrew, the walls are closing in faster than he can react. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're revisiting the latest updates in the Andrew Tate saga. How he fled Romania the second he got the chance, only to receive an even more hostile reception in the US. At this rate, it won't be long before he has nowhere to run. Now, for those who haven't seen my previous videos on Tate, here's a super quick recap to bring you up to speed. Andrew Tate is a kickboxer turned online influencer who made videos flaunting his immense wealth and quote unmatched masculinity, all while showing his viewers that they too can achieve that level of wealth as well. The only thing they had to do was buy his $50 course. But his alpha male brand took a massive hit in December of 2022. When he was arrested in Romania with serious charges of human trafficking and sexual exploitation.
Right.
After more than 90 days in prison, he was moved to house arrest in April of 2023, which lasted another 4 months. He was freed in August of that year under the condition that he wasn't allowed to leave Romania. However, the investigation into his horrible crimes continued, resulting in him being placed under house arrest for a second time in August of 2024. Meanwhile, the UK police also issued an arrest warrant for the Tate brothers for similar charges. But this didn't stop him from continuing to scam his audience. Which brings us to my last video on Andrew Tate, discussing CoffeeZilla's investigation into his many...
Alright, question to you guys watching this video before it even continues. How do you guys feel about Andrew Tate? Like, how do you guys feel about the things that he says, the things that he preaches? Setting aside like the crypto thing, I kind of saw a glimpse of what was going on through like Twitter and like a couple of videos, but I wasn't really that invested into like the whole situation because I don't really care, because bro, I've got my own life, I got things to worry about. I'm not here worrying about what Andrew Tate is doing, like, or anyone really. But how do you guys feel about Andrew Tate?
Crypto grifts, as he kept peddling rug pulls and robbing his audience out of millions despite being very vocal against crypto in the past.
Said he was going to launch a crypto coin. So I immediately pointed out that over a year ago, Tate said that he didn't need to rob his fans. He wasn't going to launch a coin. Tate replied, "Imagine being such a great detective, you can't detect a joke." Now, I'll admit that one stung a little bit. And when I did some research, I realized I had been tricked.
Are you going to launch your own crypto?
No, I'm never going to launch a crypto. I just like to with crypto Twitter. Because crypto Twitter are full of the biggest degenerate losers on the planet. They're losers. Crypto is the only scenario I can think of where you can make a whole bunch of money while benefiting society zero.
Well, there you have it. I mean, I can apologize. I can admit when I'm wrong. Clearly, it was a joke. Tate would never actually scam people with a coin. Oh, turns out he did.
In addition to these pump and dump scams, Tate also launched his Discord-like platform with a $50 entry fee called The Real World. He described it as the only way to, quote, escape the Matrix. By this point, Tate had completely forgotten about his apparent disdain for crypto. So, as you...
Question to you guys watching this video. Have any of you guys tried out The Real World or anything that Andrew Tate sells?
Might imagine, this new platform had a crypto token.
And if you did, how did you feel about it? Like, what was the result? Especially, I'm more specifically asking if you joined The Real World, which is his program. What was your result after?
Of its own. He hyped the coin with promises of massive profits for its members. However, these so-called gains seemed even shadier than his past crypto scams, because, as it turns out, the whole thing was just a pyramid scheme with extra steps.
Tate's
Bro, I
new
can't with this guy saying scheme.
plan is that you buy a get-rich-quick course, gain power points, you have to stay subscribed to keep your power points, and then they say they will pay you a percentage that their school makes.
The goal is that you can buy the token and own a percentage of the school. So imagine you sign up for the real world,
You start to make money, you focus on your tasks, then you can invest that money in the real world token and get paid every single month a monthly dividend from the profits of the school.
All right. I think I get it. So you got the people at the bottom. They're paying up into the course, into the school. Then you got the people higher with higher power levels. They're making money from people at the bottom with the coin. And then all that money flows up. It's just kind of this nice little pyramid scheme.
And that's where we left off. Fast forward to today, and a lot has gone down since our last deep dive into Andrew Tate's criminal shenanigans. The first major event happened just a couple weeks after I posted my video. On the 25th of November 2024, the real-world platform got hacked, resulting in the chat logs of over 800,000 users getting leaked to the public. This also included the personal email addresses of about 325,000 users. Worst of all, this wasn't some sophisticated elite-level hacking either, as the group responsible for this attack described the platform's security as hilariously insecure, which, as a comment on YouTube pointed out, mirrors Andrew's entire persona, reading, I mean, there's nothing about Tate that isn't hilariously insecure, so his website being the same is no surprise. Tate tried to downplay the situation on Twitter while also using this opportunity to promote his platform further, stating, "We hacked a school and saw the chats of his 800,000 members. The chats are public. You literally bought a membership and logged in and read the rooms. Call that a hack? What's 800,000 times $49 a month? Oh wait, you bought a membership. What's 800,001 times $49 a month? We are huge because we work. Everyone makes money inside the real world." However, he conveniently forgot to mention the fact that this hack also included logs from private chat servers, not just the public ones. In other words, scammers now had access to a gold mine, a massive list of easy targets who were already gullible enough to drop $50 on Tate's online school. Many of them were likely interested in cryptocurrency as well, making them prime prey for crypto scams. On top of that, some of these users also willingly shared personal information in private chat rooms.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with you buying online courses. It's just that they have a very bad stigma of scams and, you know, just selling a perceived value and you're receiving actually nothing that's even close to what it was sold as. But there's nothing wrong with you seeking or buying an online course if you think the value is there. Now, it is pretty scummy if you do buy a course and you don't get any of what it says, or you don't get the results that they promise or that they say. You know how they sell you, oh, there's a 90%, like 90% of my students, the first 30, 60 days, they start making 5K, 10K a month. Right, that might, you know, if that is true, then yeah, sure. But bro, that's not going to be all the cases. And most people are just scammers. I can't lie. Most online courses are just scammers. But there are courses that are actually valuable and useful. I'm speaking from experience from both sides of the coin. I've been scammed before, but I've also bought courses that actually were valuable to me. Like even with me, like helping me create a YouTube channel and how to work it out. But there's also a lot of free value that I've gained, like literally from YouTubers. Like I forget the name of the YouTuber. His name is Matthew something. I wish I could remember his name, but basically what I'm saying is you can get value from both paying and also free content, right? So there's no really right or wrong when it comes to that. As in, what should I buy an online course or should I just watch free value? I'd say do a little bit of both, because you can get value from free content, but you can also get a lot of value from paying someone. Just make sure that the person that you're paying it or buying it from is a trustworthy person.
Giving scammers everything they needed for blackmail or extortion. Tate, however, couldn't care less. The only thing on his mind is making even more money than he already is, no matter what. A point perfectly summed up by the top reply under his tweet, stating, "You make $40 million a month of Super Simp subscriptions, and you still need to rug 5 new shitcoins on stream every week." But while Tate had no problem turning a blind eye to the mess his platform created, he couldn't do the same for a court ruling less than a month later. You see, on the 18th of December, a London London court ordered the seizure of more than £2 million from Tate for tax evasion. This one hit him where it hurt the most, straight in his wallet, leading to him crashing out and, as typical for Tate at this point, blaming the quote Matrix, stating, "First, they labeled me a human trafficker, yet they couldn't find a single woman to stand against me. When that narrative crumbled, they turned to outright theft, freezing my accounts for more than 2 years, and now seizing everything they could. This is not justice, it's a coordinated attack on anyone who dares to challenge the system. Speak against the Matrix, and they'll come for your freedom, your reputation, and your livelihood." This raises serious questions about the lengths authorities will go to silence dissent. But then something unexpected happened that no one saw coming. For the first time in 2 years, things started to swing in the Tate brothers' favor. It began on the 14th of January 2025, when a Romanian court released the brothers from house arrest. That said, their freedom was still limited to Romania. They weren't allowed to leave the country under any circumstances. It wasn't ideal, but the brothers were probably just relieved to finally leave their house after so long. However, before they could fully enjoy their newfound freedom, another case came forward, threatening to take it all away. On the 10th of February, an American woman sued the brothers for allegedly luring her to Romania for adult work under false pretenses. Given their history and existing cases, this could have easily landed the two back on house arrest, or even worse, behind bars. Shockingly, that's not what happened. Instead, on the 27th of February, the two were given free rein to travel anywhere in the world, an opportunity they used to immediately flee to America. This also sparked a wave of speculation, with some claiming that the trafficking cases against Andrew and Tristan in Romania were dropped. But that turned out to be completely false, which raised more questions than it answered. After all, why would Romanian authorities keep the Tate brothers locked in the country for so many years, only to let them off the leash for seemingly no reason? It didn't make any sense. That is, until you connected the dots and realized that Andrew and Tristan Tate's release coincided with something major that happened just a month prior, Trump's inauguration. Minutes after entering the Oval Office, Trump began signing dozens of executive orders, one of which also included a prudential...
Do you guys think Trump had anything to do with them, being able to leave the country? Because I saw a video of them recently that they were in America, and another video of them that they were recently in Dubai. So I don't know how, because I'm not really in tune with like Andrew or really anyone in general, because I've got a life, but I've been seeing like a couple of things here and there, and I saw like a lot of people correlating the fact that Donald Trump now is the president of the United States to them being like, to him freeing the Tate brothers from the Romanian prison.
Pardon for the 1,500 people arrested in relation to the January 6th riots. Put simply, rumors began circulating that the Trump administration pressured the Romanian government to release the Tate brothers. And while they stayed silent on the matter in front of the media,
Donald Trump helped get the travel ban lifted?
the rumor wasn't completely unsubstantiated. By this point, the brothers had been vocal supporters of Trump's administration and never shied away from sharing their views, like when Andrew addressed the Danish Prime Minister by calling her a pussy, and backing Trump's decision to buy Greenland in a tweet reading, "You don't want any kind of war with Trump, give us Greenland immediately, and thank your lucky stars we don't take Copenhagen." So Trump essentially bailing the two out wasn't out of the question. However, when asked about it, Trump denied knowing anything about the brothers.
President Trump, Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in Florida today on a private jet after being released from custody in Romania. They are accused rapists, human traffickers, not thought of as good people in many circles. Did your administration pressure the Romanian government to release them, and if so,
I know nothing about that. I don't know.
Though some stayed adamant that he was the one behind their release, with one person writing, quote, "I know nothing about that," is Trump's standard lie. Whether Trump played a role or not, Andrew was just glad to be finally out of Romania. He even expressed his desire to stay in the US for a long time.
Yeah, I'm being patient with it because I intend on being in America for a very long time now.
What he didn't realize was that certain US officials also wanted him to stay, but for entirely different reasons. You see, after arriving in the US, Andrew and his brother quickly made their way to Florida. They likely thought a Republican stronghold would be a safe haven for them. Florida's governor, however, wasn't too keen on having two alleged traffickers in his state.
Is he welcome here? What to say? Send back to Romania or whatever?
Well, we have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. But the reality is, no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air.
Now, it was entirely possible that this was nothing more than a political statement. Maybe the
I
government...
feel like it was definitely a political statement for him to get more like support.
Bernard didn't want to damage his own reputation by showing any support for the Tate brothers, but he also didn't care enough to do anything about it either. That's what Andrew and Tristan were probably hoping for as well. Much to their dismay, however, the Florida government followed through on its plan to investigate them. The state's Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, has been particularly vocal in his opposition to the two brothers.
They've gone public, joking around saying, oh, what is the age of consent in America? 15, 16, 17, oh, we can't remember. That's absurd. That is horrific. And anybody that's going to defend, that practice is on the wrong side of me, that's for sure.
He also released a statement formally announcing the state's plan to investigate the Tates and bring them to justice.
Yeah, look, these guys have themselves publicly admitted to participating in what very much appears to be soliciting, trafficking, preying upon women around the world. Many of these victims coming forward, some of them minors, people can spin or defend however they want, but in Florida, this type of behavior is viewed as atrocious. We're not going to accept it. They chose to come here and set their feet down in this state, and we're going to pursue every tool we have within our legal authority to hold them accountable.
As you might imagine, this was devastating news for Andrew, who genuinely thought he was finally safe after fleeing Romania. He tried to spin this as a political move from DeSantis, claiming that he's only pursuing Tate because he supported another candidate instead of DeSantis' wife, writing, "Ron DeSantis is attacking me because he was worried I would support Brian Donalds over his wife. Knowing I have monumental political weight and trust our commander and chief, President Trump's recommendations completely. They attacked me, trying to prevent me from destroying his wife's political ambitions. Interestingly, I had no interest in Floridian politics until I learned how communist the DeSantis admin is. The game is on." What Andrew didn't expect was that Byron would also come forward and support the attorney.
Why does this nigga Loki look like Fresh from Fresh and Fit? Like, am I tripping? Is it just me? I kind of see it.
Come forward and support the Attorney General's decision to investigate the brothers.
Do you support the Attorney General's actions here?
I do. I think those allegations have to be fully investigated, and then we go from there. The key thing is we don't tolerate the trafficking of women or, frankly, the abuse of women. We do not tolerate that.
After exhausting all other options, Andrew decided to go on random podcasts and rant about his troubles.
And what have I done since I've arrived? I did Patrick Bet David and sat on my lap.
I wouldn't consider Candace Owens a random podcast. She's a somebody. Yeah, Candace Owen isn't just a random podcast, and she has previously done a couple podcasts with Andrew Tate, so it's not like random. It's very coordinated, which there's nothing wrong with it, but yeah.
Laptop. That's all I've done. I've done Patrick Bet David, I sat on my laptop and I had Taco Bell, and I've got a criminal investigation?
Yeah.
What the doesn't even make any sense.
As if this was somehow going to convince the Florida authorities to leave him alone. But this was only the beginning, because while all these podcast rants started with him trying to defend his own case, they quickly devolved into Andrew saying more and more incriminating stuff, like comparing himself to Epstein.
So the fact that my brother and I get more hate for human trafficking than Epstein shows how susceptible people are to Matrix programming.
And talking about how he relates to P. Diddy.
I sit there and go, wait. I don't know Diddy, never spoken to him. I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is they've decided to wreck him. I don't know his side of the story. He may be guilty. His side of the story might be, yeah, I did it, but so did this guy, and this guy. I'm only asking why only him. I said, T, they're about to get Diddy. He said, why? I said, they've released a video that is 10 years old. They've been sitting on this for 10 long years. This was 2016 they got the footage. Why has no one seen it? And Tristan goes, and that's out now? I was like, yep. 2 weeks later, arrested. They set up the public perception before the arrest. And I know how this works, so I saw it and called it. This came out of nowhere. This was stored somewhere in the Matrix archives. When they decided to take him down, first thing you do is slander him, just like they did to me.
Though all of this pales in comparison to him passionately claiming that authorities can't arrest him because he wipes his phone every night.
You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL and this come get me. Raid my house. Take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me. Arrest me. Let's do this all over again. I've done it for 4 years in Romania. You think I'm scared of your state jail after an Eastern European gulag? I'm staying right here.
The investigation.
I can't lie, like, knowing that the government has access to your phone at any time, like, you know, as much as us as people, we like to think that iPhone, Apple is very private, you know, security and whatever. Like, you know that they can access our phones, that they have access to everything that we see if they want to, right? They probably are seeing it right now. I'm saying this from coming from a place that I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not saying Andrew has done anything wrong. I mean, that's why we're watching the video, to figure out. But I'm just saying, like, even to me as a normal civilian, like, to me that's a bit like scary. Like, it's a bit worrying, knowing that the government has access to my phone at any time and at all times. I wouldn't necessarily be deleting everything, but knowing his situation, knowing that the government, every single government, wherever he goes, is looking at him at every single time, and he is liable to being arrested at any single point. Do you really blame him for, like, always deleting his pictures and shit? Because they can literally, you know, create a spark or a fire from any small spark. Now, this is not me necessarily defending him. I'm just like, I like to see from both sides of the coin.
Launched by the Florida government also inspired people to take matters into their own hands and dig for the truth. And what they found was nothing short of horrific. In early March, an old video of him resurfaced and went viral on the internet. In this video, Andrew can be seen restraining a girl on the bed and hitting her repeatedly with his belt, while hurling a barrage of verbal insults at her as well.
Tell me you love me. Say it like you mean it. You say it like you mean it. You message one other guy ever again, whether we're together or not. You understand me? Do you understand me? Say it then. Say I understand. Say it like you. Say it again.
To make this already messed up situation even worse, the girl in this video was allegedly just 15 years old at the time, while Andrew himself was 25. Tate tried to excuse his actions in the video by releasing a video of Vivian, the girl who's in the original video, claiming that it was all consensual.
Hi, I'm pretty sure many of you have seen a video of Andrew Tate beating up a woman, and I'm pretty sure not so many of you have seen the same woman coming forward with a statement saying it was nothing but a play. So here I am again for the second time. Yes, the woman he has beaten up, and the same woman who has made a statement is me. So I'm coming forward for the second time to just clarify and let everybody know it was nothing but a play.
And this could have worked as a viable excuse, if not for the fact that A, Vivian was a minor at the time, so she couldn't have legally consented anyway, and B, messages from Tate were leaked in which he was telling his crew to get a video from Vivian and, quote, tell her what to say. Other videos of him on the internet show him essentially giving step-by-step instructions on how he manipulates girls into doing adult work for him.
For Tate.com, I have my PhD program, and that is, PhD is a pimp and hose degree that teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me.
No, on a serious note, she was like actually for real 15 and he was 25. Like, there's no condoning that kind of behavior. Now, I don't know all the facts. I don't know if it's true because there's so many things that go to social media, like so much false narrative, so many false things that in bed with what's true, that the line of truth and fake, it becomes so blend together that you don't know what the fuck is real and what is fake, to the point where, you know, I'm just like, you know what, I give up. You know, whatever happens, happens. If nothing happens, nothing happens, and life goes on.
That being said, Tate now understands that all of this is too much for him to handle. No amount of scripted fake explanations and podcast appearances is going to get the Florida government off his back. So he decided to run for his life once again, and go back to Romania, which he claims is to, quote, prove his innocence.
Back in Romania, like I said I'd be, because innocent men don't run from anything. We're here to clear our names and exonerate ourselves, and after all...
What could be the real reason, of course, was to avoid getting arrested in the US. But while they might think they've gotten away scot-free, the Florida Attorney General says that the investigation is still going on as usual.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, the Tate brothers are not in Florida right now. The investigation is still ongoing, but at the end of the day, if you're here and you're a criminal, if you're going to engage in activities that go after women, that go after our kids, we're gonna come after you.
By now, it's clear that Andrew Tate is getting more and more desperate with each passing day, and nowhere is this desperation more apparent than his recent lawsuit against Twitter users. As I was writing this video, the Tates filed a defamation lawsuit against 15 Twitter accounts that have been critical of the duo in the past. They're seeking a minimum of $50,000 in damages from the owners of these Twitter accounts, though the real purpose of this lawsuit is to just bully these creators into submission. It's incredibly petty, something that Andrew himself isn't ashamed to admit.
Listen, I'll say this right here, right now. I don't need a reason. You're gonna have to defend yourself, regardless. That's the thing about the American legal system. You cannot ignore it. I don't care if it costs me $1 million to take $1,000 out of your bank. You're gonna be in court twice a month for the rest of your human years. I don't care. I will sue you for any and every reason forever. And you're gonna have to hire lawyers and turn up forever. I will do that. I'm that guy. I'm petty. I'm petty and I've got a lot of money and a lot of time.
What he didn't expect, however, was that these Twitter users aren't going down without a fight. For those who don't know, in order to win a defamation lawsuit, you have to prove that what the other person said was a lie. It's a risky move since the other party can also use the lawsuit's discovery process to gather hard evidence backing their claims. As one of the users he sued mentioned in a tweet, "Now we get to subpoena all their documents to prove what we shared was real and factual." Andrew will likely realize this soon and drop the case. But even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter much in the long run. After all, he has nowhere left to run. The UK police already have an arrest warrant against him and his brother, the Romanian case is still going on, and now even the US is involved in investigating their heinous crimes. With the way things are going, it's only
the US, it's just Florida state, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not the US. And mind you, this is not because I'm not keeping up with the situation. It's just from what I'm seeing from the video. Each state in the United States works differently. So just because Florida state is supposedly investigating them, which to be honest, I don't think it's true. I think it was just PR bullshit for them to get more votes. It's just Florida. It just stays in Florida. It's not necessarily all states. So if it goes to New York or if it goes to a different state, it's not like they're going to be investigating him. So it's not the whole of the US. I just wanted to clarify that because that's one of the things that I know that at least, like, it just comes to, like, it's not even about the Andrew Tate case specifically. I just know a lot about the US. Well, I just know a couple of things about how the US law works.
A matter of time before they're put behind bars for good. My theory is that he will try to play the MAGA angle like SBF, in hopes of getting under the protection of the Trump administration. Based on what we've seen from Trump and DeSantis, however, that seems almost impossible. That said, no matter what happens next, I'll be here to cover it in detail. So
yeah, there'll be video. Shout out to Internet Anarchist. Yeah, I really like the video. My honest thoughts and review on this topic. I will say I have joined Hustlers University previously. This was like 2-3 years ago. And I will be honest, it did work. I remember I was studying copywriting at the time. And to anyone who doesn't know what copywriting is basically they teach you to like reach out to people that are starting their online businesses or starting their like just business online social media presence, and you reach out to these people and offer them a service to either grow their business, to their landing page, there's social media marketing. This is 3 years ago, so I might be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, that's what it was. And it actually taught me now, like there's different teachers for each topic. Like I think he said there's like 14 different things that you can start. So they have e-commerce, they have copywriting, they have like crypto, they have a bunch of things. I just stuck with copywriting, and yeah, the teacher, which funny enough, his name was also Andrew, he taught a lot. He actually taught a lot, and I learned a lot from it. However, I still failed. Like I didn't get any client. But I will say it wasn't because of what they taught me. It was an implementation issue. So I was so scared that I didn't actually implement. Like I almost got a client, but I was gonna say I was so young, but it seems like I'm blaming the fact that I was young that I wasn't able to do it. But no, it wasn't that. I lacked the courage to actually send the email. I even think back to it. Sometimes when I think about that time, I look back at it and I'm like, bro, if I was to join the course now, which I most likely wouldn't, but if I was, I would at least this time have the courage to actually give it like 100% of a try, because I actually learned things from it, and I actually had the the blueprint, I had the template to do it. I just didn't follow through with it 100%. Like I had a couple of potential people to reach out to that I found out, because they teach you like how to find people to reach out to and whatever. I had everything. I just couldn't send the email because I was scared of being denied, of being neglected. And you know, at the time I was just like, you know what, let me just quit. This isn't for me. I'll try to find something else. But looking back at it now, I'm just like, damn, man. Like I really had an opportunity to just give it a try. There's nothing wrong with giving it a try. And that's my experience with Hustlers University. Now, when it comes to Andrew Tate, whether he is guilty or not, of everything that's been put onto him, I don't think so. And I really don't know if it's 100% true. Now, if there is some truth to it, I'm kind of on the fence because I don't know him. But at the same time, it's a lot of things that just like don't look good. They don't look good and they're not helping him. But the one positive thing I can say about Andrew and Tristan is from things that I've seen them saying, like from podcasts, because I don't just watch clips like a lot of people. Like I actually watch long form content, and they do say a lot of things that I do agree with, and not from relationship standpoints, but like being a man, like being a leader as a man, being provider, being protective, being strong, having a good mental fortitude, you know, just keep pushing, keep on working, be the best person that you can possibly be the best man that you can possibly be. These are messages that when they say, I really appreciate them saying, because I feel like we need more people to spread this kind of message, because us men, we need these kinds of role models to really become strong, to really become better selves. So yeah, I will say when it comes to that, I really do appreciate them. Now, when it comes to other stuff, you can call me a hypocrite and maybe you can dislike me for this opinion. You're free to do whatever, but this is just my opinion. This is just the same way that you can also have your own opinion. But yeah, that's my opinion on the whole situation about Andrew Tate. Do I necessarily think that they ended? No, I don't, because I still see them popping up online. Apparently Andrew's buying a new Bugatti. He's buying like a bunch of cars, still flying. So I think he's way more than well off still, and probably making even more money than what he was making before. So I know this title was just like for clickbait as well to a certain extent. Trust me, I get it. You know, I make YouTube videos, so I know how that works. So I don't necessarily think it's the end of Andrew Tate, but yeah, I mean, shit, let's see how this case ends, because I know it's still like on standby. Like he hasn't finished like his case. He's not guilty of anything. He hasn't been legally found guilty of anything, but the case hasn't been also dismissed, as people said online. Which is like, goes back to what I was saying, like there's so many things that then collide with what's true, like false things that collide with what's true, that when you look into it, you're just like, bro, what the fuck is true? What the hell is false? At that point, you're just like, you know what, just leave it, I don't even care anymore. That's just me personally. But yeah, shout out to Internet Anarchist for this good video. I liked it. And yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and also make sure to leave a like on this video, and let me know how you guys felt about my opinion. You don't have to necessarily agree with it, but it's cool. But I appreciate you guys anyway for listening to what I have to say, and let's all be respectful. The same way I give my opinion, you guys can give your opinion in the comments down below respectfully. But and let's just keep it at that. You know, it's just a conversation at the end of the day. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, really and truly to 1,000, but you know, gonna start slowly. And yeah, that's it from me. Oh, and also check out this video that's popping up right now. I think you will enjoy it a lot. All right, that's it from me. I'm out. Peace.